When you're in school, you don't really think about what comes after school. You're focused on having a blast with your friends, you're focused on having fun in the classes, and you don't really think what comes out of this, what comes after this phase of your life. And I was similar to that. When I was still going to school, I was skipping classes because I knew I'll get my diploma. I wasn't really worried about it that much. I didn't think what this degree will give me. I didn't think where this scholarship will lead me and if I would have any opportunities after I finish. Well, the bitter truth struck me when I was out of there. Well, this looks more like it. This is my hat that I got from my high school once I was done with it. 2021, back in the day. Now let's forget the fun. Let's forget everything that happens in school. I want to talk about exactly how life unfolds after school, because most of you watching have probably finished school and now you're out there in the wild and you're pretty lost, or you're really left disappointed with the offers and the opportunities that your degree has given you or the world is offering you. So for starters, I was done with my degree in marketing and economy back in 2024, in the summer of 2024. So I decided to take a long vacation, go back to Macedonia, my home country, and be there for a few months, just live life and then look for a job after I go back to the Netherlands. Now it was all rainbows and sunshines for the first 3 months. I was in Macedonia, I was having fun, I was going out, I was drinking, I was hooking up with girls, the regular, nothing bad, nothing to complain about. And then in September of 2024, I came back to the Netherlands, full of energy, ready to hit the market, ready to find a job, ready to work on my professional career and make some money out of it. And I started applying to these jobs on Indeed, on LinkedIn, and many other places wherever I could find an opportunity. And first week, pretty bad. Second week, I finally got an appointment scheduled, finally a job interview in sight. I go there and these guys ask me all random questions. I'm all lost. I mean, I try my best, but of course they didn't select me. And I was fine. I was like, okay, 2 weeks in. First one was a flop, but we go on. A few more weeks pass by, a month goes by, and then I get like 1 or 2 more interviews, and then more weeks, more months pass, and then before I know it, it's December. It has been 4 months and I have no fucking job still. This was the time I probably felt the dumbest in my life, because I was so out of touch with reality of how the job market works and how fucked up the job market is in the first place, that I thought I will be able to land a job in like a week or two. It was 4 months and I was still jobless. And of course, by this point, my savings were drying up. I was having no income, less money to play around with. I bought a car in this period and I was like, all right, this is some bullshit. This is a problem. I really have to figure it out, because now I'm becoming broke pretty much. And this is the time when I got lucky with my neighbor. She was working at a place where I could join. That is also the job I still have today. It's not a great job by any means. It is not a job in the marketing sector. It is not a job in any industry that is related to what I've studied. But regardless of all of that, it is a job that pays fine. It's pretty easy, pretty repetitive, also stagnant, but it represents a nice checkpoint for me for this phase of my life. But now that I have been there for 1.5 years, I'm starting to realize that this job is not fulfilling me. It's making me more miserable, actively, week in, week out. It sure pays the bills, but when I go there, I feel like that is the last place I want to be on earth. And that feeling, when you experience it once, twice, 3 times, and then 100 more times when you go to your job, right? You realize how bad it is and how bad it affects your psyche, your mind. It's like a plague. It kills your vibe, it kills your mood, your energy. It feels like everything that makes me is getting drained out when I go there. And if I want to go back in the marketing sector, if I want to get a job that will suit me better and that would make sure I'm working on something that I actually studied about, well, I'm gonna get less money, first of all. I'm gonna have to work more, second of all. And I probably won't be as fulfilled as I first thought after getting my degree. I first thought that I'm gonna really have a blast at my job. That was silly me, because I don't think there will be ever a job on the regular job market that will fulfill me. And sure, this is subjective, this is me. Some people have found jobs that fulfill them, I guess, on this job market. But for me, a young dude, I just feel fully out of place, and I don't think I can really hide it. And I've talked about this with many people, especially with young people my age that also have some jobs that they hate. We're all kind of on the same page. And now here comes the bigger point. You not enjoying your job that pays fine is okay, but you not enjoying a job that doesn't pay much is a problem, because you're not getting anything for your effort, or at least you're not getting anything for your effort on a long run. You know, if you want to stack up investments, if you want to buy property for yourself, or if you want to buy property to rent, if you want to buy a decent car in cash and not lease it for 10 years, if you actually want to build wealth, you are fucked, because you can't. A regular job in the West right now doesn't provide a good enough salary for you to stack up wealth and actually think about your financial future on your own terms. Everything feels like it's set up against you. And this is maybe my young brain trying to justify me quitting my job or whatever because I'm about to. But I feel like I've discovered that I'm in a trap, I'm in a limbo, I'm in a loop that doesn't end well. I'm gonna work for years and years, then I'm gonna get a mortgage, and then I'll live my whole life paying out that mortgage. I will be a slave to this system. And you can see me as schizo, you can see me as a crazy dude, you can see me as conspiracy theorist, whatever you want. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to be a goy. I'm not willing to give everything that I have to the system that is not gonna give me anything back in return. Yeah, sure, when I'm 65, when I'm 70, I might get my house finally under my name. But when you're old and brittle, in your 60s, 70s, do you really care as much that you now, in your later days, own this specific property that where you were living in for the last 40, 30 years? I don't know, man. I think when I'm 70, I probably wouldn't care as much about finances, about materialistic possessions as I care right now, because now I actually want to have something to build something, then I can pass it down to the next generations and they can do whatever they want with it. Sure, I can educate them on what they can do or what they should do with it, but I probably won't bother as much, because sure, my days on earth by then will be very shortly numbered, and I wouldn't really care to leave them thinking about some fucking property that I might even not care about at this point. This is very distant. I'm not gonna talk about what I will think in 40 years, because I don't fucking know what I'm gonna think in 1 year, so I don't wanna analyze my mindset now and try to project a version in 40 years. That's not really smart, because we don't really know what's gonna happen in that time period. But what I do know, and what this video was all about, is that after I finished school and after I got a job, after I actually started living as an adult, I realized how fucked up it all is. I realized how empty this wilderness is. I realized why and how people get isolated, how people get atomized, how people lose their way in the search of a better job, in a search of a promotion. They kind of leave all things that matter on the side because they're so scared by this system that gives them this urgency, that they always have to keep their head above water, that they always have to grind and grind and grind and get a salary and salary and salary and put money in their 401k or in their investment portfolios or SP 500 or whatever, and build wealth that way. But when you actually do it for so long, you will realize that it's probably not worth it, because not only the next generations have less opportunities than the last generations had, we also can't even start our financial journey right. Only recently, a few decades ago, one house was equivalent of a cost of like 5 annual incomes, average incomes. So you earned 30,000 a year, the house was 150,000. Sure, pretty doable. Everybody who really wants to put effort in it, you'll grind for 7-8 years and you'll get there. You'll eventually get there. You'll own your home around 30, 35, and then you can do whatever you want. But the story is different now. If you're 20, you need a 40-year mortgage. You need to make a plan for the next 40 years. You need to dedicate 40 years of your life, of your money that you're earning every month, to put down on this house, to eventually own it so much later on in life than what it was only a few decades ago for people that took mortgages back then. Now, property ownership, money, finances are one aspect of the job market. They're one aspect of what it means to finish school and join the labor force. Another aspect is the feeling, how bad it all feels, how artificial it all feels. I just can't stand this fakeness at my job. I just can't stand these people pretending like they want to be there but they don't, and it just gets to me. Like, I'm a person who really hates bullshitting. Like, I really can't stand fakeness. I really can't stand this artificial atmosphere that is created at these jobs by the managers or HR, putting their fingers everywhere and trying to make the atmosphere friendly and cooperative and whatnot. I just can't stand it because it's so fake. I see the eyes of the people, I see that they're not happy, I see they're empty inside, but it feels like they have no other choice and they have to smile when the picture is taken and they just have to ride along with it. But I refuse, bro. I fucking refuse. In a month or two, I'm quitting my job, and I said it. I'm going back to Eastern Europe. I'm gonna make a video about it pretty soon as well, because I just can't stand this fakeness. I just can't stand this lifestyle that I built for myself after I graduated from school. I thought in my brain it was so much better, but realistically now that I live as a regular worker, I realize how bad it all is. I realize how empty, how shallow, how nihilistic it all is. And I'm refusing to accept that this is my life. I'm refusing to accept that this is the truth and the reality that I have to indulge in for the next 30, 40 years. I just refuse to do it. Anyways, you can think that, I'll do something else, and then you can think that I'll try some other things, some other alternatives, and I'll fail and I'll have to go back to work in a regular job. I mean, it might be true, I might spend all my money. I might have to go back and work at a company that I dislike because I have to get income. It might be true. Like, I'm open to that reality that the chances are not 100% in my favor. I understand that things can go both ways, but I will try. I will face reality as bitter as it is in the eyes, and I will do what I think is right to do. You might say, you're a young dude, you're 21, you have time. You have a lot of time in front of you. You can figure it out. But I don't really think so, man. I think we have time, sure. We're young and life just starts for us. We have a good amount of time. But again, if you want to live the best years of your life, you could say, your biological peak, the way you want, you have to figure some things out to be able to do that. If you're 29 and if you work 12 hours shifts every day to climb the corporate ladder, then you're actively wasting your biological peak years at some company that you probably don't even like that much. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to play a role in this rat race, as cliche as that sounds. I want to pursue my purpose. I want to try to figure out what I actually enjoy and what I actually am ready to die for, and do it regardless of how much money I will get or how much financial stability that will grant me. So if you're a young dude, your hand on your balls and follow your fucking path. The traditional path of working a job and making it through the corporate ladder and making it through the labor market is that. We're not in the 80s, we're not in the 70s, hell, we're not in the 60s. So you better understand that what is in front of you is leading to a bad place. Like, I just can't stress this idea enough that you will never really make it to the level you want if you live by the 9 to 5 rules. You just won't. And if you dream small, all right, I mean, you can work your job. If you're fine with it, I'm not gonna say anything to you. Props to you. You found your peace, you can do it. But if you dream big, if you want to actually build something of your own, if you want to leave a print on this world, if you want your kids to inherit something from their father or their grandfather, you just have to understand that this leads to a doom. This leads to you renting, or your kids renting, or their grandkids renting a place from these corporate machines. Everything is gonna go through them. Eventually they will get such a big monopoly on every industry that everything you do, you will rent from them. And now we're only getting a glimpse of this post-capitalism society. We're only getting a glimpse of the whole rental and of the whole subscription economy. This is only gonna get worse. And if you're ready to accept it, and if you're ready with peace in your heart to live by those terms, sure, again, props to you, can do it. But if you want to make the rules in your life, if you want to know that the property where you're living is on your name, you gotta take action. You just have to do something. And the roads are vague. It's not easy. I mean, hell, bro, I don't know in which way I'm gonna make it. I don't know, but I know that I will try. I know that I'll go all in on this. I know that I'll have sleepless nights. I'm gonna try whatever it takes in any industry I land to make it. And I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care if I miss out on some milestones. I don't care if I don't get a mortgage before 30, because I just don't think it's worth it at the moment. I don't think my conscious mind and my subconscious mind just don't allow me to do it. I just feel like a goy giving my energy to this system. I cannot accept it. The liquid in my balls goes crazy, bro. It doesn't allow me to do it. So yeah, now we went very far from the original thought behind this video. But life after school, once you enter the labor market, life really gets harsh. Things change for the worse in the short run, but at least it reveals all the dirty secrets of our capitalistic society. It reveals everything that you need to know, and if you just look it at the eye, and if you accept that this is the demon you're gonna fight for the rest of your life, and if you actually go on and fight it, you might win. It's gonna take years. It's gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take a lot of doubt, energy. There will be days when you will pull your hair, but at least you're fighting for the truth. At least you're fighting for what you deserve to have. You either make it or you die trying. You stay above the water or you drown. There is no other way around. And I would rather drown than try to lick the assholes of these corporate giants that control our society right now. You can call me schizo all day you want, but this is the reality. This is the reality of the postmodern capitalistic era that we live in right now. And sure, there might be some holes in my theory. I don't say that it's perfect. I mean, I'm 21, bro. You might be older than me. You should probably know more than me at this point. And I know that in a few years, I will look at this video. I'll probably say that I would do some tweaks that I'll probably make it better. But I just believe it. I just strongly believe this idea that I'm presenting to you right now. I strongly believe that this is the way to go for most of men. And if you don't agree, again, you do you. But if you agree, remember that you have two balls and make it worth it. Make those balls work hard and make it work it. Make it worth it. So peace out here. God bless you. And I'll see you in the next one.